Well, hey there, everyone. Happy Friday afternoon. King 5 meteorologist Adam Claiborne here to talk about the busy weather weekend that we have ahead. So this video is going to be maybe a little longer. Thankfully, though, it's not for any sort of extreme weather that we're expecting, but just that things are going to become a little more active than what we have been seeing here through a lot of the work week, and we had to talk about that really cold air mass plus some wind that's going to be heading on in here. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about what's happening outside right now. And those cloudy skies, well, they are here, and they're going to stay around for a lot of us, but we are expecting to see some sun breaks at least. The rain beginning to dry up from earlier this morning, and that's heading on out of here, so you can see at shoreline parking lot a little more damp earlier than what we're seeing right now. Now, we are also seeing some cloudy skies out closer to the coast, but I think it's out this way that we could see a little more of that sunshine begin to pop on up. As for right now, mostly cloudy skies there for Bellingham and also for us out at SeaTac Airport, but no big worries about any sort of weather impacting your flight status as we head on here into the afternoon or into the evening. It should be fine there. Where you are going to have to keep an eye out for things there across the passes. Snoqualmie Pass, you can see some of those snowflakes showing up on the camera lens there. Check out the conditions before you head up. Stevens Pass, also busy day. You can see a lot of cars in the parking lot, but a little more sun starting to pop up there. And Forest and White Pass, also a busy day after some of the fresh snow we got throughout the night, but you can definitely tell that things are fairly quiet. Now, here's where the sun is, up high into the mountains. The Olympics showing that skies are clearing there for the Olympic Peninsula. Just going to take a little while longer before we get this next round of clouds that come in with that next system coming in for tomorrow. And then looking live at Paradise, you can see a lot of cloudy and very dreary conditions there as they're beginning to clean up from the snow that we just had. Now, just like we were thinking yesterday, you can see some of the rainfall amounts extremely low across the Kitsap Peninsula, across Mason County and South Sound, as the rain shadow definitely did its thing, as we kept amounts right around maybe 1/100 of an inch, if not even less than that. You got to go closer to Snohomish County to get some of those higher amounts, around 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch there, around 1/4 across the north coast for Quileutes. So for the rest of today, no big rain chances. We're going to see maybe a sprinkle or two, but mainly cloudy skies with a few sun breaks, temperatures in those mid-40s. Now let's talk about that cold air and where it's coming from. It's coming in from the north and the east. So that's why you see a lot more of those colder conditions for areas such as North Dakota and Minnesota. Farther to the west, yes, the mountains areas are definitely cold, but it's coming in from this direction right here. Let me point that out to you. It's going to be coming in from this way. That air mass going to be diving south and westward to impact us with some of those very, very cold temperatures later tomorrow and into the start of next week. As far as our current temperatures, mid-40s, some lower 50s already popping up, maybe slightly cooler than normal, but overall not bad, especially when you consider how cold things get heading into Sunday with a high of only 38 degrees. We have that slight chance of a few snowflakes right at the tail end of the event heading into Saturday evening, Saturday night, but no big worries about any sort of lowland snow accumulating here across the area. So satellite and radar picture shows the showers beginning to head on through. You can see farther south you go, maybe a few sprinkles still left behind, but big picture, high pressure beginning to shift farther to the west and to the north, while we're seeing this next system beginning to head on in from the north, which will impact us with some of those showers and also some breezy winds too. So look at that right there. You can see wind advisories are going to start up tomorrow at 6 p.m. Those will last until 6 a.m. heading into Sunday. San Juan Islands, western areas of Whatcom County, Skagit counties. Keep an eye out for some of those winds between 25 to 35 miles per hour. We could see some gusts between 40, maybe as high as 50 miles per hour. Speaking of those winds, let's get into it. You can see later on at tomorrow morning, we start to see those pick up. And that's around 9 to 10 o'clock. And we're getting into those north coast areas, more across areas into the northern interior, the San Juan Islands. Farther south, we'll have some breezy conditions, but generally we're between 10, maybe 25 miles per hour, maybe popping to about 30 as we go into tomorrow evening. But here we are right around 7 p.m. just after that advisory starts. And you can see the winds really howling out of that Fraser River outflow. And that's going to really not only just bring in the colder air, but drop some wind chills down into the teens up into some of those parts. And we're expecting farther south some pretty cold conditions, but the winds won't play as much of a factor. We'll keep those around as we head on into late Sunday night, and then winds do start to weaken as we go on into the day Sunday. Now, what that will do for your wind chills, 3:30 Saturday afternoon, you can see some of those wind chills around the mid-30s farther to the north, upper 30s farther to the south. But then once we head into the nighttime hours, that colder air settles in. We start to see a lot of those numbers dropping in the low 20s, still holding to the 30s farther south. And then we're in the teens by this time we start off early Sunday morning up across the San Juan Islands, western Whatcom County, Skagit counties too. And then noticing farther south, still holding on to the 20s before starting to warm a little bit into tomorrow afternoon. Now let's get on to the precip, because for the rest of today, a lot of clouds, not much really rain or snow for the mountains expected. Then late tonight into early tomorrow, you start to see some returns showing up on future radar. Now, it's not going to be a lot. We're not expecting a bunch of rain to come through with this, but it is going to come in with that blast of cold air. Better chances of showers, Seattle southward, it looks like, as we go later on into tomorrow morning and throughout tomorrow afternoon. And then right at the tail end of this, you can see just a very small area of snow that can start to mix in as we go on into the evening hours. So that will be evening, getting closer to just before to just after sunset, because this precip is not going to stick around long. It exits quickly, and then we are starting to clear out very quickly too by later tomorrow night. So let's talk about what that will mean for some of those precip totals, because as far as the rainfall, again, nothing much at all. Less than 1/10 of an inch in a lot of spots, maybe a bit higher around Olympia and Chehalis, those spots that didn't see a lot with our last system here. And then as far as the snow, we're talking about maybe another 1/2 foot to 10 inches of snow across some areas. Generally, I would think 4 to 8 inches in a lot of spots, just where the moisture is coming from. It might block Stevens Pass, though, from getting much from that, as we're only expecting about 1 inch as it moves on through. Your forecasted highs will start to drop down into the 30s Sunday and Monday, just barely getting back in the 40s by Tuesday, then back into the 40s by Wednesday, and then those overnight lows dropping well into the 20s. Make sure to get out early to your vehicles Monday and Tuesday morning, and Wednesday morning too, as we'll be below the freezing point, and you'll probably need to warm up the car, get some of that frost off of it too. Highs today, mid to upper 40s again. A few sun breaks possible, but generally just a lot of cloudy skies. 45 for Linwood, 48 for Hind, Redmond 45, and Everett, South Sound calling for highs right around more of those mid to upper 40s as well. And then your forecast tonight, dry tonight, partly cloudy skies, pretty cold too, lows dropping into the 30s and maybe a few 20s, but I think we're going to bounce back quickly with that system coming in tomorrow afternoon with the light chances of showers and a few snowflakes around, and then sunny and cold starting up on Sunday. Monday, Tuesday pretty chilly too, and then sun breaks expected on Wednesday before rain chances do start to head back in by the time we head into next Thursday. So again, nothing too major with our system that's going to be coming in, but it's just mentally preparing and probably planning too if you have any sort of outdoor plans or anything you're trying to get done early next work week for the cold weather that's going to be in. And then for those of us farther north, Skagit County, Whatcom County, more the San Juan Islands, having to prepare for some of that stronger wind that we'll be heading into. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you later.
For more local news coverage, live and on demand, watch King 5 Plus. Download free on Roku and Fire TV.